Good afternoon, SCSD students and teachers.
Last week was full of excitement across the Scott County School District.
At Sebastopol Attendance Center, the sports team were on the move. Junior high basketball played Union on Monday and Anawaya on Tuesday. The cross-country team competed in the state championship at Choctaw Trails Thursday, and the football team traveled to compete against Ethel High School last Thursday night. On Saturday, the Sebastopol Spirit Band competed in the MHSAA State Marching Band competition and came in third place and received the bronze medal. Congratulations to Sebastopol Spirit Band for their hard work and dedication this season.
At Scott Central, the junior high basketball team played Morton on Monday, and the football team traveled to Lake to take on the Hornets.
Thursday, over at Lake High School, the Hornets celebrated their band, cheer, and football seniors. They held a senior pep rally and featured the seniors before the game Friday night.
Meanwhile, the Morton Panthers faced off against the Forest Bearcats in their rivalry game as they battled for the Golden Chicken. To gear up for the big game, students dressed up in themed outfits all week, showing off their school spirit.
Students across the district and across the nation celebrated Red Ribbon Week. Red Ribbon Week is an annual alcohol, tobacco, drug, and violence prevention campaign in the United States observed each October. To celebrate, several schools in the district took a stand by holding themed dress-up days during the week. Those are the highlights for last week. Now let's hear for what happened last week in sports.
My name is Celicia Wells, and this is what happened last week in sports. Last week, there were several rival games across the district. The Hornets took on Rebels, with the Rebels coming out on top with a score of 35-28. The Panthers took on the Forest Bearcats in the battle for the Golden Chicken, but unfortunately fell short in overtime, and the Bearcats came out on top with a score of 20-14. The Sebastopol Bobcats took on Ethel as well last week, but unfortunately fell short with a score of 32-12. Morton Panthers soccer team took on Pearl Pirates last week. Both teams held their own but were unable to come out on top. The teams will be back in action this week on November 3rd at East Central Community College against Merrill High School and again on November 6th at Lake Central. Basketball teams across the district will be playing several matches this week. On November 4th, Lake Varsity Girls will be taking on Riley at 6 o'clock. November 6th, Rebel basketball teams will be taking on French Camp at 6 o'clock. On November 8th, the Sebastopol girls will be taking on St. Patrick at 12 p.m. The Rebel girls will be taking on Mendenhall at 1:30 p.m. The Lake girls will be taking on Northeast Lauderdale at 2:30 p.m. and the Morton girls will be taking on Harrison Central at 3 o'clock p.m. That's it for your sports. Now, let's hear what's going on this week's weather.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Sigers, and this is your weekly weather report. The high for today was 67 degrees, with the low being a chilly 39 degrees. Tomorrow and Wednesday, it will be a little warmer as the highs reach the mid to upper 70s, while the lows land in the mid to upper 40s. Thursday, it will also be a warmer day as the high hits 78 degrees and the low hits the highest it will be all week at 58 degrees. Friday, it will be the warmest day of the week as the highs hit 80 degrees and the lows lands in the 57 degrees. There will also be a slight chance of rain Friday morning. That's us all for your weekly weather report. Let's kick it back over to our anchors to hear about this week's announcements.
Here are the announcements across Scott County School District, starting with Sebastopol.
This Tuesday, November 4th, is the school blood drive. If you're eligible to donate, be sure to sign up and help save a life. On Thursday, November 6th, progress reports will be issued, so check out those grades. Also that day, our junior high basketball teams will take on Union at home. Friday, November 7th, is the deadline to turn in your Operation Christmas Child shoeboxes. Don't forget to bring them and help someone's holiday a little bit brighter. And finally, on Saturday, November 8th, marks the first high school basketball game of the season at home against St. Patrick. So let's pack up the stands and cheer loud for our teams.
Over at Scott Central, tomorrow, November 4th, the junior high basketball teams will be in action at home against Morton at 5 p.m. Also tomorrow morning, Rebels 8th grade students will be part in bankers in their classrooms presented by community banks beginning at 9 a.m. Wednesday, November 5th, Rebels FBLA members will be heading out on a trip to Brandon. On Thursday, November 6th, progress reports will be issued. That evening, Rebels High School basketball team take on French Camp right here at home, starting at 6. On Friday, November 7th, marks the start of the MHSAA football playoffs. Let's fill the stands and bring the energy. And on Saturday, November 8th, the Rebel High School girls basketball team will compete at Forest Shootout with their game scheduled for 1:30 p.m.
Over at Lake, today, Hornet Junior High basketball teams hit the road to take on Forest. On Tuesday, November 4th, the high school basketball teams will travel to Raleigh for their matchup. Wednesday, November 5th, Lake High School will participate in the community safety drill, so please follow all instructions carefully and take the drill seriously. Safety is always a top priority. Thursday, November 6th, our junior high basketball teams travel to Newton for another big game. Also on Thursday, progress reports will be going out. And to wrap up the week, on Friday, November 7th, marks the first round of the MHSAA football playoff.
Finally, for Morton, archery trials will be Wednesday, November 5th after school until 4:45 p.m.
And over at the STEAM Academy, robotics applications are open, so please check your emails for the recruitment video and apply if you're interested in joining the award-winning Poltronics robotics team.
That's it for us at the SCSD News. We will see you next week with another update.
And remember,
These are your schools, your stories, and your news.